I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice. And let me remind you also that moderation in the pursuit of justice is no virtue.
Industrial giant, to get government back within its means and to lighten our punitive tax burden. And these will be our first priorities, and on these principles there will be no compromise. I can hear you! I can hear you! The rest of the world hears you! And the people...
Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
But I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. Great to be back with you. So much to talk about. A program stacked like pancakes, including the return of Raging Elephants Radio contributor, Pastor Stephen Broden. He had a very provocative op-ed that he published last week. Read it for you. I want to follow up on it and also get his take on Texas leadership during this COVID-19 panic. And I think it's first or second time back to Raging Elephants Radio, conservative commentator and comedian Gavin Babineau. He may be a top fan of Raging Elephants Radio. I don't know. He usually jumps on the thread, facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio. I don't know if he has the top fan badge as of yet. But he's going to be on today's program, and you don't want to miss him. I'm just going to say it right now. It looks like everybody is following the lead of moi. From the very beginning, I've said I am going to be the anti-pan-panic broadcast activist. From the very beginning, I've said that I was going to be the anti-pan-panic talk show host. That's what I've said. And now more and more of these talk show hosts, syndicated national and international talk show hosts, are now calling for what I've called for them from the very beginning. Open the economy. No need to shut down the economy. I'm walking around just before I go onto the microphone here, and I'm looking at a report on CNBC, and they're showing protesters in North Carolina, who from the very beginning has encouraged you to defy. Who has encouraged you from the very beginning of this panic announcement that has beseeched us, that was unleashed on us, has said, do not comply. And it looks like all over the United States, citizens are recognizing the turf that government is taking, and they are defying. They are protesting. They're literally going out and saying, open up our states. You're destroying our businesses. You're destroying our way of life. Generational businesses are about to go belly up. There is no amount of money that the U.S. government can print that can bail out the number of businesses from the Aleutian Islands to Bangor, Maine, that are in trouble. Small, large, and Fortune 100. They are still going to find themselves in financial difficulty because of the unnecessary shutting down of the global economy. And I've been saying it from the beginning. Now, when I'm out there driving around, I rarely, and you guys have heard me say this before, I rarely listen to other talk show hosts. I rarely listen to Rush. I rarely listen to Sean or Laura or any of the other ones because I don't want to be influenced. I want to come with original thought. I want to focus on what's going on in Texas. And it could just happen that what I speak to, other talk show hosts happen to speak to as well. It's not intentional. Now, every once in a while, I'll dial in to another talk show host, and I did the other night. I listened to my favorite, Mark Levin. Even Mark Levin, I don't tune into him every night. And for years, he's always been my favorite. My thing about Mark Levin was, before I knew what he looked like, 10, 12, 14 years ago, I wondered what he looked like with a voice that he has, because it's like an anti-radio voice. It's not exactly what you would call FM after midnight radio voice. That would not be Mark Levin. And so for years, before I knew what he looked like, I wondered what he looked like. He sounded as if, let's be honest, he sounded as if he was Jewish. He sounded as if he was New York, East Coast. But I didn't know what he looked like. Absolutely my favorite. And I would be upset because the station that he airs on, by delay, here in the Houston market, is the same station that the Rockets and the Astros are broadcast on. So he always gets preempted. But now, with all the professional sports being shut down, well, Mark Levin is on every night. So I'm driving around the other night, and I said, well, let me see what Mark Levin is talking about. And what is Mark Levin talking about? Reopening the economy. Well, wouldn't you know it? Now, I don't know if 1 month ago Mark Levin was talking about reopening the economy. I don't know if 1 month ago Mark Levin was saying shutting down the economy was not a smart thing to do. I don't know, because I avoid listening to other talk show hosts. But on that night, a couple of nights ago, he was definitely, and being unapologetic for the president, Mark Levin is saying, the president, he's got to balance the public safety with the economy, and this president is trying his best to reopen at least portions of the economy. They never should have been shut down. They never should have been shut down. And now you've got governors across the state, including the juggling governor, King Gregory of Texas, Governor Abbott, with the spine of overcooked linguine, figuratively. Now he's making utterances. Now, we got to find a way to reopen the economy. It never should have been shut down from the get-go. I said from the get-go, it never should have been shut down. That this was an absolute panic. This was an absolute overreaction and a power grab by the governor, and citizens across the nation, not just Texas, are beginning to recognize that. Now, I don't know if there's been citizens in Texas that have risen up and actually launched protests like in North Carolina and other states, but I know that governors are starting to feel the heat. And Greg Abbott is one of these finger to the wind kind of guys. Which way is the wind blowing? Public sentiment. So when Greg Abbott starts making noises about we need to find a way to reopen the economy. Well, he's getting the numbers back from Texans that are saying this is stupid. This is utterly insane. You are destroying generations of businesses over a panic, over the sniffles, something that's about as serious as perhaps pneumonia. This is ridiculous. And citizens are finally rising up. And if Greg Abbott, and it's all over the news, it's all over, the headlines are all over the place. Greg Abbott is making utterances, making sounds, broaching the subject. We got to find a way to reopen the economy. We got to find a way to reopen the Texas economy. Maybe we can open portions of the economy. Maybe we can open certain regions of the Texas economy. It never should have been shut down in the first place. I walked into Walmart. Every Walmart employee had on face masks and gloves. You walk into any other business, you walk into a fast food location. Now they got these stupid plastic things up there. You know, you walk into a Valero or a convenience store, corner store, a Circle K, and they all got these stupid plastic screens up there now. It's just utterly ridiculous. People walking around, some people walking around with masks, some people not walking around with masks. You walk into Walmart, every employee has a mask. Every employee has on their surgical latex gloves, and it should be the purview, the decision of management of each private company to make that decision. This is what our employees are going to do. I gave you the solution the other night. Somebody shows up for work, an employee shows up for work, employer takes their temperature before they walk into the building. If there shows a temperature spike, if it's greater than 98.6, you send them home. If they don't, come on in and work. You can do it with customers at restaurants. I don't care. Take out a table. Take out half the tables at restaurants. Just don't shut them down. Just don't close them down. I mean, thank you, Jesus, they kept the liquor stores open. The liquor stores were considered to be essential businesses, because if not, people would be putting guns to their heads. And so Mark Levin, all the governors are sitting there talking about, we got to find a way to reopen the economy. We got to find a way. Because their revenue is being cut. Revenue to the government coffers is being cut. I mean, think about all these, what has it been, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks that they've had tolls waived here in Harris County. You can roll on any toll road in Harris County and not get paid a toll. That's a couple of $1 million a day. At some point, they're going to say, ouch, open up the economy so we can start charging tolls again. I said from the very beginning, it was absolutely ludicrous to shut down the economy. Ludicrous. Absolutely insane to shut down the economy. And now those that supposedly sit in seats of servitude are starting to parrot what I'm saying. We got to find some way. We got to open the economy up some way. President Trump knew it 2 or 3 weeks ago. We got to try to find some way to open up the economy. But the scientists, the geeks, rule everything. You know, we got to wait till the scientists and the professionals and those in medicine say it's cool to they give us the green light. They rule everything. No, man, forget the doctors, forget the nurses, forget the scientists. They're not in business if business isn't in business. They're not in business if businesses are going belly up. The scientists, the doctors. They're going belly up if the economy isn't reopened. There is not enough money that the U.S. government can print to bail out all the corporations, organizations that are in financial trouble right here, right now, because of the insane overreaction, panic, and the irresponsible shutting down of the United States and global economy. And finally, people are following my lead and saying, hey man, this is ridiculous. Open up the economy. People are losing their jobs, losing their homes. Their businesses are going under. There's going to be some that you could open the economy today and their businesses would not be saved. It's over for them. Game over. Open the economy right now. Even Greg Abbott realizes that by now.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking. Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle. Now featuring Biosphere. Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElePhantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
Information, communication, action. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
A program stacked like pancakes. Pastor Stephen Broden is coming up later on, and conservative commentator and comedian Gavin Babineau as well. I just joined a brand new Facebook group. It's simply entitled Open Texas. In other words, open the Texas economy. Push back on the panic. Open the Texas economy. Stop doing damage to the prosperity and the liberty of Texans. So somebody, Morgan McComb is the one that invited me. Another indication, another symptom that citizens, especially Texans, are losing patience with this panic, with the government overreach. I've said it before. When government takes turf, it's extremely hard to take it back. Now, I was talking about Mark Levin earlier. He read some article from some professor of Stanford, has a law degree and is an MD, that is saying the most dangerous thing that's going on right now is the loss loss of our liberties. That's what I've been saying from the very get-go. Claverism number 9. There is no cause in all creation, no matter how desperate or benevolent, that justifies the imposition of tyranny. And COVID-19 and the coronavirus falls into the category of, we don't care how big of a crisis it is. We don't care how desperate it is. It does not justify the imposition of tyranny. Under no circumstances. I don't care if humanity is in danger of being extinct. It doesn't justify the imposition of tyranny. And so now I get an invitation from Morgan McComb. She says, join this new Facebook group, Open Texas. In other words, folks from across the Lone Star State, I already had like 3,000 members in it or something like that. People are already saying, look, this is ridiculous. The shutting down of the economy. People walking around with face masks or whatever. I mean, like as if they contract COVID-19, it's a death wish. It's a death sentence. No, it is not. And apparently everybody is fired up about the video I showed last week of the doctor out of St. Louis who says the secret to the treatment is quinine and zinc. Hit the zinc hard, hit the quinine hard if you just happen to get COVID-19, and that's the treatment that you need. Oh, there's going to be a new normal in the United States, and it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good as far as where the government treads. And I believe Texans and citizens across the United States, they're seeing this, that the greater danger isn't COVID-19. The greater danger is the government overreach that's reaching pandemic proportions. Government's taking turf all over the planet. And once they take turf, it is hard for the citizens to regain their liberty. It really is. So we have to always be on guard. We have to always be suspicious. We have to always be suspect of the intentions of governmental entities, even right here in Texas. But I know one thing, Abbott is trying to act smart. He's got his finger in the wind. He knows Texans are fed up. He knows Texans are impatient. And even he is trying to put pressure on whomever, including the president. We got to reopen the economy some sort of way. We've got oil now back down at $20 a barrel. No matter all this chit-chatting they're doing up there, jawboning they're doing up there at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Oh, thank you, Senator Cruz, for sticking up for Texas. Thank you, Senator Cruz, for doing the media rounds and calling what Russia and Saudi Arabia is doing to Texas economic warfare, recognizing that Texas has been attacked, that Texas, unlike the other 49 states, is dealing with two issues, two crises, the COVID-19 crises, the panic, and an attack on our economic backbone, energy production, in which the Russians and the Saudis have specifically said, underscored by Senator Cruz, that they wanted to put Texas oil producers out of business. It is an act of war. And so finally, you got the leaders up there in Washington, Devil City, including U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, once again following my lead and saying this economic warfare against Texas needs to stop. I'm still waiting for the retaliation. I'm still waiting for the retribution. At least Senator Cruz and others have recognized that Texas is under attack. Our economy is under attack. That hundreds of thousands of jobs in Texas are under threat because of what the Russians and what the Saudis have done. Oil is still, it's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to prove to you, oil isn't going to go. Oil prices, gas prices aren't going to go anywhere. I'm going to prove it to you right now. Is this the clip? Let me see if this is the clip. Okay, this is it. This is Thursday. This is last Thursday at 9:15 a.m. This is the Northwest Freeway in Houston. I am going inbound. This is usually bumper-to-bumper traffic, is it not? 9:15 on a Thursday morning, the Northwest Freeway going inbound towards downtown everybody knows that at this point, traffic should be bumper to bumper. I'm cruising along. I'm cruising along. You're gonna see my speedometer here in a few minutes. Am I passing anybody? Am I blowing anybody's doors off? I am not. I'm in the flow of traffic. Am I blowing anybody's doors off? No. I'm flowing with traffic. There it is, 78. I'm doing 78 in a 60. Proudly, by the way. I'm doing 78 in a 60. You just saw the speedometer. Am I blowing doors off? No. This is at 9:15 on a Thursday morning on a Houston freeway going inbound. I'll play it again. I know it's frozen here. I'll play it again. Because wherever you are in Texas, whether you're in Dallas, I bet even in Austin there's no traffic jams. As bad as the infrastructure is in ATX, the worst freeway system in Texas, I bet there's no traffic jams on I-35. The Mopac Expressway, 183, I bet there's no traffic jams whatsoever. None. Look at this video. That's a Thursday morning at 9:15 a.m. in Houston, Texas, inbound on the Northwest Freeway. I'm cruising. Absolutely cruising. The smell of exhaust in Texas means money. When you don't have bumper-to-bumper traffic on a weekday at 9, there it is, I'm doing 78 in a 60, proudly, without any reservations. I'm doing 78 in a 60 at 9:15 a.m. on a Thursday morning. And the point being is no matter what Ted Cruz does, no matter what Donald Trump does, if you do not have demand for energy, the prices are not going to go up. Oil prices are not going to go up. They're going to stay at $20 a barrel and go lower. You got to open up the economy. Everybody knows Econ 101, supply and demand. And you can pressure the Russians and the Saudis to stop the urination contest in which Texas is getting wet. You can pressure them to cut oil production, 10 million barrels a day, 12 million barrels a day, 14 million barrels a day. But when you don't have any cars on the road, when you literally have no demand, you can cut oil production as much as you want. You can take as many barrels of oil off the market as you want, and it's not going to elevate oil prices, especially on the spot market. When you have no traffic at 9:15 on a Thursday morning inbound on the Northwest Freeway, the 290 in Houston, you have no demand. So you can cut supply all you want to. It's going to stay imbalanced. Oil isn't going to elevate, isn't going to appreciate anytime soon, and the Texas economy is going to get hammered. We need retribution against the Russians. We need retribution against the Saudis. They have specifically attacked Texas. Even Ted Cruz called it economic warfare. We've been attacked, and we need counterattack. The Texas economy is larger than Russia. Does anybody know anything that Russia makes beyond vodka and caviar? Sorry, babe, I don't mean to, because Barbara loves caviar, and if I say embargo Russian caviar, she may get mad at me. I don't know. But somebody needs to put a hurting on Russia and Saudi Arabia. I agree with Senator Cruz, who says, why would Saudi Arabia do this to us when they're supposed to be our friends? So we've got the double whammy of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Texas economy completely, totally shut down, and then oil prices threatening to once again drop below $20 a barrel even today. Because we've been attacked. And who's been consistently jawboning about this? Yours truly. Who's finally catching up? Senator Cruz, Governor Abbott, citizens of North Carolina, citizens of Texas, the ones who opened up the new Facebook group, Open Texas. In other words, reopen the economy. Stop having us shut down. Stop doing so much damage to us. When we get back, I may need to go over how the oil market works for everybody. I wanted to do that because if you want to see the epitome of globalization, what globalization looks like, the global oil market, the global energy market, it's the poster child. If you want to know the dangers of globalization, what's happening to Texas right now, as far as oil prices is concerned, the main contract is trading just above $20, but on the spot cash price, you can buy 42 gallons of crude oil, West Texas Intermediate, 42 gallons, which is a barrel, for less than $5, less than a McDonald's combo meal. This is going to have devastating impact on Texas. It was purposely caused by Russia and Saudi Arabia, and we need retaliation. Reopen the economy and mess up Russia and Saudi Arabia. That's what I say. Don't cut the stream.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Here's a sample from Pastor Keenan Smith.
See, however, though, I believe the White House is supposed to stand as the people's house for all individuals. So I believe it is sinful and wrong for the White House to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of your tax dollars to bathe the White House in rainbow colors, celebrating their victory. So let me say this, that we expect an unregenerated individual to act lost. Lost people act lost. We expect that. We even expect them to embrace or promote or even applaud homosexuality and other ungodly practices because that's where they are in life. We understand that. The question is not do they act lost, but do we act found?
Enjoy Pastor Keenan Smith, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver and I own a high performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunkifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
The battle for liberty rages in every Texas community, none more so than in the nation's fourth largest city, Houston, Texas. A tyrannical mayor denies the right to vote to the citizens of the city, signs executive orders that violate the Texas Constitution and the charter of the city, and issues subpoenas for the sermons of pastors. And when the frontline leaders against the mayor's totalitarian agenda wanted a broadcast partner for their Faith, Family, and Freedom Tour. Who did they request? RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
There are a lot of great folks that we owe a big debt of gratitude for promoting this issue from day one. I want to recognize my friend Claver and the folks over at Raging Elephants over here. He was on it from day one. Every single week this man talks about this issue. And so thank you, Claver, for never giving in, never backing down, and continuing to be that loud conservative voice.
RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Numbers equal power. Spread the word about RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Today's program is going to feature Pastor Stephen Broden, Raging Elephants Radio contributor, member of the State Republican Executive Committee, and a few moments, conservative commentator and comedian Gavin Bobino. And I'm looking here at Facebook.com. Stephen says, our refinery has cut production back as far as possible, and there is talk of shutting some cat units down. I work for Valero Port Arthur. He's one of my homeboys. I was born in Port Arthur, Texas, by the way. And this may be, I was going to move on to something else, but looking at Stephen's comment, I do want to go a little bit further on and explain this whole idea of globalization when it comes to the energy markets. Because you talk to a legitimate conservative and they instinctively bristle at the idea of globalization. And what's happening right now in the crude oil markets justifies why they bristle at the idea of globalization, because there really is nothing I think of. I mean, maybe precious metals is another commodity where globalization really has an impact on quality of life, or whether you're making money or losing money. The best way I've heard it explained is the crude oil market, the energy market, is like a big bathtub. There's no difference in Nigerian oil versus Venezuelan oil versus Saudi Arabian oil versus Canadian oil versus Malaysian oil versus Texas oil. It's all in one big bathtub. And the price of oil is determined on whether or not the faucet is turned on and the bathtub is getting filled up, or someone has pulled the plunger and the bathtub is starting to drain. It doesn't matter whether it's North Sea, British or Scottish oil. It doesn't matter if it's Norwegian oil. It doesn't matter if it's Russian oil. The global energy market, the global oil market is the global oil market. And then you've got ding-dongs, cartels like OPEC Plus now, that are deciding when to turn the faucet on, when to turn the faucet off, and when to pull up the plunger, the plug. And what they're doing right now is the bathtub is overflowing, thanks to Russia and Saudi Arabia. And just like Senator Cruz said last week when he made the media rounds, and I played the video for you, he said it was an intentional act by Russia, by Saudi Arabia, to hammer U.S. and specifically, he said it, after I did, of course, he said it, Texas oil producers, Texas shale producers. I called it an act of war weeks ago. I said this is no different than Russia or Saudi Arabia anchoring warships off the Port Arthur coast, off the Corpus Christi coast, off the Houston Ship Channel, off of Sabine Lake, and attacking any oil tanker that comes out of those waterways. It's no different as if they set up a blockade. It's an act of war. And so you have the oil markets that are the epitome of globalization. And so right now, Russia and Saudi Arabia got the faucet turned all the way up, and the bathtub of oil is overflowing. And so when Stephen is sitting here in Port Arthur at the Valero refinery in Port Arthur, and he's saying we've cut production back as far as we possibly can. And I'm showing you a video, traffic in Houston, Texas at 9:15 a.m. on a Thursday morning inbound on the Northwest Freeway on the 290, and I'm doing 78 in a 60. You have no demand. So you got the Russians and the Saudis got the bathtub of oil, crude oil, overflowing, and the economy is shut down. Nobody. I have found gas now that is cheaper. I don't know where you are in Texas. I don't know. But here in Houston, in my neighborhood, I have found gas that is now getting ready to dip below $1.40 a gallon. $1.40 a gallon. And no place to go. We can't go anywhere. It would be wonderful to fill up the gas tank with $20 and be able to go to Dallas, or to be able to go to NOLA, or for you guys that want to go over to Tillman Fertitta's Golden Nugget in Lake Charles, go right ahead. But you can't, because there's no demand. Supply is overflowing the bathtub, and because the economy is shut down because of the panic, there's no demand. Oversupply, no demand, and Texas is getting slaughtered economically. An act of war. And we need payback. We need retaliation. We need some type of economic sanctions on the Kremlin. Turn their lights out. We need some sort of economic retaliation against Saudi Arabia. Riyadh should go dark, some sort of way. We need some sort of cyber attack or something. I'm not saying drop Tomahawk cruise missiles in the lap of Putin. I'm not calling for military action, but I am calling for some sort of economic retribution on Russia, on Saudi Arabia, on OPEC Plus, if we must. You guys are going to turn off the faucet. You're going to turn off the faucet until the economy is turned back on and until we can get demand up. You're going to stop attacking Texans. You're going to stop threatening our way of life. You're going to stop threatening our jobs. You're going to stop threatening our economic backbone. Russia, you're going to stop. Does Russia make anything? Is anybody in the market for a Russian automobile? Is anybody in the market for a Russian smart TV? Is anybody in the market for a Russian smartphone? Is anybody in the market for Russian socks? I mean, what does Russia make? They don't do anything. They don't make anything. Their whole economy is energy, oil, natural gas. That's it. We can put their lights out like that. I know one thing, I said it before and I won't stop saying it. If Texas was its own independent sovereign country, and if Russia and Saudi Arabia decided to mess with Texas, Texas would mess them up. And that's what needs to happen right now. Russia and Saudi Arabia need to be messed up. And I am disappointed in President Trump. I'm disappointed in President Trump that he has not taken retaliatory action against Russia and against Saudi Arabia. I know that he wants a good relationship with Russia. We get it. I know that he wants a good relationship with Saudi Arabia. We get it. But when they attack literally the economic engine of the United States, which is Texas, we're dragging everybody else along, and y'all know that. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. I'm not telling you anything new. And then we get specifically attacked. Yes, the drillers in the Dakotas will get hurt because of this. They got shell production up there. But do you think the Dakotas, the economy of the Dakotas, is carrying the economy of the United States? It is not. It's the Texas economy. It's Texas job production that's keeping the numbers up, that's keeping unemployment down. And we're the ones that are being attacked. Russia knows it. Saudi Arabia knows it. And I'm waiting for President Trump to do something. Thank you, Senator Cruz, for at least making the media rounds and drawing attention to the fact that we Texans are under attack. Now, the next thing, oh man. So we've got the panic, the COVID-19 coronavirus panic, totally out of control. the prospect of now taxpayers, we Texans, I told you guys, at some point, someday, we're going to have to bail out other stupid states like California, Illinois, Michigan, New York, already bailed out Puerto Rico, and now, thanks to COVID-19, here we are on the precipice of having to bail these states out because of their tax revenue loss, because they stupidly shut down the economy. And who's going to have to bail them out? We are! The governments want bailouts. The cities want bailouts. Open the economy. So Texas is dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. We're dealing with being economically attacked by Russia and Saudi Arabia. And the other thing that's happening to Texas that no other state is having to deal with, we've got three things we're dealing with. The border invasion. Oh, you forgot about that. I haven't. I keep my eye on the ball. I keep my eye on what is most important to Texas. Don't you know that by now? Don't you know that's why I'm number one when it comes to Texas? I'm number one. I'm the best because I keep my eye on the ball on what matters most to Texas. The COVID-19 pandemic has shut down our economy unnecessarily. The Russians and the Saudis have attacked us unnecessarily. Still waiting on the retribution, still waiting on the payback. And we have the border invasion. And the March border invasion numbers have been released. After this break, I'm going to share them with you. If you're not listening, you're not learning. Don't cut the stream.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElephantsRadio.com. Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver and I own a high performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com. Hey, this is Claver. I want to take a few seconds to give you some words of encouragement. Go after the dream. Some of you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show. Congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running is part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now with RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Take us wherever you go. Raging Elephants Radio, streaming on your computer, tablet, and smartphone.
Just having fun talking Texas Liberty 411. I'm Claver, your favorite political flavor. Always getting it to you straight, no chaser. Just the way you like it, the way it's supposed to be. I know, I'm never gonna hold back. I'm not gonna tie my tongue in knots. I'm gonna give it to you like a T.I. is. That's why you love me. Don't forget the original Liberty shock jock, the amazing Doc Green, right side of the mic, right after my program, and the amazing girls from Texas, Holly, Gloria, and Susan. Their expose on Chad Roberts, the gypsy cop, the pedophile that's about to become the sheriff of Eastland County. Their expose, their investigative journalism continues. You don't want to miss any of their programs. They'll be on at 10 o'clock tonight and 10 o'clock in the morning. If you've missed any of their programs, any of Doc's programs, any of my programs, go to Raging Elephants Radio, RER on demand. You can listen when you want to. Don't forget, all these programs are also loaded up to RER video channel on YouTube. And be sure to share as well, because we're talking about things that other folks simply aren't broaching the subject on when it comes to Texas. I'm looking right here. Ryan, Facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio. Ryan on the video stream. He says in Hot Springs, gas is at $1.08. $1.08. $1.08. That is not healthy for Texas. We need gasoline per gallon at around, the sweet spot is about 205, 210. That's the sweet spot, about 205, 210 for regular unleaded in Texas. That's about our sweet spot for the economy to be strong, to meet the balance of supply and demand. And here's Ryan saying in Hot Springs, it's at $1.08. And right around the corner from me, it's about to dip below 140. And that's all because we're being attacked by Russia and Saudi Arabia. It's economic warfare, and I want payback. I want retaliation. I'm seeing nothing from President Trump. I know his plate is full, but Texas is under attack. I want immediate response. I've been calling for it now for a month, and nothing's being done about it. So Texas is dealing with three things, not two things. Texas is dealing with three things. First, we got the COVID-19 pandemic. Second, we're under attack by Russia and Saudi Arabia. And third, we still got the border invasion. Have you forgotten about the border? Have you forgotten about build that wall, build that wall, build that wall? Is any progress being made on the wall at all? Have you forgotten about the border invasion? Because I haven't. That's why you tune in, because I keep my eye on the ball, on what's important to Texans. You don't think the border invasion is still important? I do. Because we're still being invaded. We got the COVID-19 pandemic. We're being economically attacked by foreign powers, trying to put us out of business, trying to bankrupt us. And we are under attack, under assault, under invasion by those south of the border. And the March numbers are out. Now, for FY, where is it? Here it is. For FY 2019, I am the only human being that I know of that kept a spreadsheet of every month what the border invasion numbers were for Texas. You know how every first Friday of the month people are waiting for the unemployment numbers to be released? I wait for the border invasion numbers to be released. And so here they are for March. Let's go to it. For March, border invasion numbers. These are total apprehensions for the 5 border regions of Texas. This is just Texas. No New Mexico, no Arizona, no California, just Texas for March 2020. Big Bend region, total apprehensions, 678. Del Rio sector, the same as February, 2,620. El Paso, 3,222. Laredo, 4,020. And RGV, the Rio Grande Valley, remains the barn door wide open. 7,002 apprehensions for the Rio Grande Valley. Total apprehensions, 17,542. Now that's way down. But now you got to remember, you got to do the gotaways. You have to double whatever the total apprehensions are. You have to double it because the gotaways are always double. So we're talking about for Texas, March 2020, 35,084 that illegally crossed into Texas for the month of March, 31 days of March. Way down. But if you think that the COVID-19 panic was going to cause the border invasion to stop altogether, well, we were wrong. It has not. The border invasion continues. So now we're at a total for fiscal year 2020, we're at a total of 215,000 plus that have crossed into Texas illegally in FY 2020. 215,000 plus. Way down from what we tracked in 2019 of 1.25 million. But the idea is that the invasion continues. It hasn't stopped. It's way down, but COVID-19 has not stopped the border invasion. There's the numbers for March. I'll continue to harp on this. I'll continue to underscore this, highlight this, and stay on this because this is the type of things that are important to Texans. The border invasion still continues. The border is still not secure. The invasion is indeed a danger to Texas, just like oil prices are a danger to Texas. The shutdown of the economy because of the COVID-19 panic is a danger to Texas. We're dealing with 3 things, and maybe even more. I'll stay on the lookout. I'll keep in Hawkeye, protecting life, liberty, and prosperity in the Lone Star State. My name is Claver, and this is Raging Elephants Radio.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantsRadio.com. Pastor Edwin Guerra delivers passionate sermons.
And then I'm reminded, God is greater than our feelings. There are times that you don't want to be Jesus to people because you just don't feel worthy. God is greater than how we feel. And that is our hope. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We are not called to be emotional, up and down, Christianese type of people. We are called to be bold and stand firm on what we believe, even if you don't feel like it.
Enjoy Pastor Edwin Guerra, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Maintaining your home air conditioner is just as important as maintenance on your car. You don't know the big difference there's going to be until you've had the work done. I thought my system was working fine, but now it's better than ever. Galen Beatty did it for me, and he'll do it for you. Good servicing will not only keep your system performing well during the sweltering summers here in Houston, but it will save you money year after year. In my case, it cut my AC power consumption by 20%. Do what I did. Have Galen Beatty set up regular AC maintenance to cut your energy bill and prevent system failure at the worst time. And what's better than being comfortable and saving money? Whether you need a basic tune-up or it's time to put in a new super efficient system, you should call Beatty AC 281-222-9591. That's 281-222-9591 to schedule an AC system tune-up. Beatty AC and Heat. That's BEEDE AC and Heat.com. BEEDE AC and Heat.com. Harris County has a crime problem. Who are you going to call? It's harder than ever to know who you can trust. You can trust Joe Dana. Group culture is always set by leadership, whether it's an airline or a city. As a lieutenant constable every day, he honors his oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the laws of Texas. Protect and serve is in his DNA. As a Harris County Sheriff, Joe Dana will restore your trust in the Sheriff's Department and improve the morale of the deputies on the street. You can trust Joe Dana as Harris County Sheriff.
I am Lieutenant Constable Joe Dana, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Joe Dana campaign.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver, and I own a high-performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in Decatur. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com, or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The RER Marketplace, powered by Amazon, is the way for you to financially support RagingElePhantsRadio.com. It takes just a tiny change in your habits. You're already an online shopper. Enter Amazon.com through the RER Marketplace link at the top of the homepage, or enter your desired product in the Amazon search box in the right column, and RER gets a commission for any purchase you make. No change in Amazon prices or services. RER simply gets some revenue. Change your behavior and help us get the truth out. RER Marketplace, powered by Amazon. Your grassroots political organization may benefit from having your own internet radio program. RagingElePhantsRadio.com can help you achieve that. By having your own RER program, you can personally inform your members and supporters of the top issues in your community and grow the size of your organization. Starting your own RER show isn't as hard as you think or as costly as you think. To get started, go to RagingElePhantsRadio.com and click the Advertise on RER button for a list of prices. Or you can email us, sales@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Have your voice heard. Have your own show on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Get to know Texas politics. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Yeah, so the TNT, the TMB, Tina Moody Bryan, the hot ticket. She goes, Claver! You know, on Facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio. She says she filled up her Escalante. Oh, Lord have mercy, she needs prayer. Her Escalante, her Escalade, for $30. It was on E. I'm happy for her, but I'm unhappy for the Texas economy. Ryan says in Hot Springs, gas is $1.08. Is that what he said? $1.08? Mm-hmm. Yeah, $1.08 in Hot Springs. That's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Conservative commentator and comedian Gavin Babineau. We did some work together on Fox News. Fox 26 local here. The Isaiah Factor. That's how we met. And the guy is smart, and he's always got something to say. And it's not his first time on Raging Elephants Radio. It was about time to get him back on. Gavin, what's up, my brother?
What is up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm fine. I mean, I don't have the sniffles. I don't have any type of upper respiratory problems. I don't have a fever. Gas is inexpensive. I just don't have any place to go. I can't go anywhere.
And like you said earlier, the only good thing out of all of this is that you can now get alcohol to go. You know, it used to be only in small places like Pasadena that had drive-through, but now I can finally get me a bucket of margarita and I'm good to go.
And is anything positive? I've been saying through this whole panic thing, Gavin. I've been saying, hey, when government takes turf, it's really hard to take it back. I wonder how fast it's going to take them to rescind permission for us to be able to get our alcohol delivered. I wonder. They had to keep liquor stores open. Liquor stores had to be identified as an essential business. Otherwise, people would have been putting guns to their heads.
Unfortunately.
Do you call it?
The odd thing.
Do you call
my
it?
question is I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Gavin, because I was going to ask you: Is this? Do you consider this a panic like I do? That's what I started calling it from the very beginning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Actually, I was talking to a guy in Uganda today, and I forget how big of a population that they've got, but he said that they've got like 54 people dead out of a few million people in the town. And of course, they've shut the whole thing down, because in the end, it really does seem like everybody wants us to become dependent on the government for money and health care. And I'm at some point wiping my butt.
And I'm trying to encourage Texans to resist the temptation of latching on to the government teat. I mean, I know times are tough. I mean, there's multi-generational businesses out there that are really under the gun. I mean, they may not make it. Like the XFL is not going to make it. I was going to talk about that later. The XFL is gone. The XFL was a successful business model. I mean, I want to do a full report on the XFL. Halfway through their season, it's over. They don't plan to come back. Think of other businesses, Gavin, around the state, around the nation, who may have just opened their doors 6 months ago. They're in danger. There is no amount of money that can bail them out. They're gone. The XFL was a perfect example of a startup with the promise of success, good football, good players, good front office, good business model, great potential for being a successful league. The players are happy. You have top name, high profile coaches, and it's belly up. In half the season, it's gone. They will not be able to recover from this. And there's a bunch of other businesses that, it's not sports, it's not the XFL, but there's small businesses like the ice cream shop around the corner from my house. It's not going to reopen. It's gone. The fixtures are gone. The refrigerators are gone. It's not going to reopen. There is no amount of money the government can print to bail them out. Your thoughts, Gavin?
First of all, the sucky thing is Houston finally had a winning football team, and bam, it's done.
Man, hey, and
I swear, we really are cursed here. I don't know, man. It's bad.
Hey, man, on election day, I was working the polls on election day, and these two voters came up, husband and wife, I guess, or boyfriend, girlfriend, and they were Houston Roughneck down to the ground. They had nothing but Houston Roughneck gear on. I'm telling you, it was catching on.
I came across people every day that had something, and the sucky thing is, I'm sure somebody had a tattoo already, and that's, here today, gone tomorrow.
Somebody went and got a Houston Roughnecks tattoo, and it'll be on there forever, man, because the Roughnecks logo was awesome. It was a play off the old Houston Oilers logo with the star of the San Jacinto Monument at the top. It was an awesome logo, never to be seen again. That's terrible.
If anything, I like the logo and the name more than the Houston Texans. I thought it was gorgeous. It truly resonated with where this state came from. Unfortunately, I really do hope that they'll find some way to bring it back for the third time. But I don't know. I guess it depends on McMahon or whoever's got all the money and how they feel like trying to spend it.
I was
Now,
I was sorry to see it go, but that's where we are, man. That's where we are. It's a bunch of businesses like that. There's a bunch of small businesses like that in which, now we find out that getting the money isn't going to be easy as everybody thought. The application process is complicated. You may get the money, you may not get the money. I've just encouraged Texans, stay away from the government teat. Stay away. Stay away.
Now, in my personal experience, my day job background is in steam, and the company that I work for is based in Alabama. I'm the only Texas employee, period. And I was told like a week ago they did get that whatever small business loan. So I know that there are people that are able to do it, and I don't know what kind of a business case that it takes in order to make it happen, but it is happening. Obviously, there's red tape. Obviously, there's always a bunch of BS that you've got to go through to make it happen. But I guess if you can figure it out, honestly, do it. Figure it out. Keep your people alive. Keep your business going.
Well, what do you think, man? Is all this necessary? Was the economic shutdown necessary in the first place?
Yeah. I understand if you're in a certain kind of business where maybe you don't want the possibility of sick people, so you would shut out, say, like contract employees or at least furlough. But by and large, I think this whole thing was a plan. I think there were enough people that wanted us to become dependent. And, this whole stay home thing, I truly think the media is what it has actually made this worse than the government actually started out to make it. Because, if there's one thing that the media is good at, is, it's completely blowing things out of proportion to twist it to however that they want it to look.
Now, they fan the flames, don't they? They're looking for the clickbait. They're looking for the ratings. Just like Rahm Emanuel said, don't let a good crisis go to waste. That applies to big mainstream media, legacy media as well, right?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to fan the flames.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing that's got me, man, is now I'm getting flooded with commercials on TV of all these companies that are making these feel-good commercials. We're all in this together. Well, we're doing, whether it's Kellogg, we're making cereal, put a new emphasis back on breakfast, bring the family together. We're doing all these charities. So now you've got this avalanche of big corporations with big advertising budgets, and they're rushing to the communications shop to produce ads saying how fantastic they are and how they're backing the actions of the government and social distancing and the whole shutdown of the economy. We're doing everything that we can. All these feel-good, fuzzy commercials that we're being bombarded with. I'm sick of it. It makes me want to puke.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if the government gets to look at every commercial and it does it count as like brownie points so that they can get those extra business loans to keep those big CEOs pockets heavy. Because throughout all of these commercials, every time that I see one, I always think, does the average Joe in the field or in the factory do they have a job right now? Are their hours cut? Are they just sitting home and there's this magic commercial? So, I don't know. And that's something that I've been wanting to look into. Of course, I know refineries are still going. Although I will add this. Did you hear today that Trump is talking about cutting money from the World Health Organization over their handling of this whole pandemic?
And you call it a plandemic.
Yes. I saw a snippet of that. I hadn't got to read the story yet, and I was jumping for joy. I was like, hey, yeah, hell yeah, take away the money from them. I don't know why they had it in the first place, truly.
Well, are you as suspicious? Do you have your tinfoil hat on, man? Do you think that it was
Germ
I
war,
love a
germ
good
warfare.
conspiracy.
Do you think it's germ warfare from the Chinese?
You know, I love a good conspiracy theory, and I have a lot of plans to kind of find ways to make these conspiracy theories funnier than what they actually are. But I would not be surprised. Now, you know, we all know that China has absolutely lied about the number of people that have gotten sick and or died from this. So, doesn't it make you think? You just kind of you just sit there and you wonder, well, you know, where did it actually come from? Is it truly Wuhan? You know, did the Simpsons have this on an episode like 20 years ago and nobody paid enough attention? But I swear they always seem to get it.
But the Chinese economy is cranking back up, and we're still over here. Our economy is still stuck in the mud.
Yeah, isn't that something rather fascinating? They have, you know, yeah, because they've lied about their number. Oh yeah, it's all good here. You know, China's safe. Let's start building stuff in China again, and you know, shipping it over here, and God knows what box of God knows what disease in it. So, who knows? Maybe they'll start cranking out the lead paint again too.
Yeah,
But
but here's the thing, though. Did Shanghai get shut down? I don't think so. Did Beijing get
no,
shut down? I don't think so. I mean,
mm-mm.
they say Wuhan, but the rest of I don't think the rest of the Chinese economy was shut down, just like our economy is being shut down from coast to coast, from the Aleutian Islands to Bangor, Maine, and more importantly, from El Paso to Orange, from Amarillo to Brownsville. Our economy is being shut down here in Texas. Did the entire Chinese economy get shut down? Because they used tyrannical action to make sure it didn't get outside of Wuhan. I don't think Shanghai was shut down. I don't think Beijing was shut down. Was the entire Chinese economy shut down? I don't think so. But ours is, Gavin.
And it is absolutely frustrating. I think every state, because you know, the last time I checked, states still had rights. Every state needs to go ahead and just open back up. We're good for business. I mean, I got friends in Louisiana that you know can't come over here and get certain kinds of business done because you know otherwise they'd be in a freaking quarantine room for the next 2 weeks. It doesn't help anybody. Like your friend earlier who filled up their Escalade on 30. No, I don't. I'm assuming that they use cheap gas, which they shouldn't have. But I strongly feel yes, every state needs to do what they need to do because, quite frankly, there's not enough money to come from Washington D.C. to save everybody. We might as well just give everybody a fighting chance. And well, like you said earlier, there are businesses that will not make it. They are done, and it sucks. And could something have been done about it? Absolutely, they could have kept it open the whole freaking time.
That's right.
But it's too late for that.
And for all the conservatives out there, you're a conservative, I'm a conservative, I call myself an ultra conservative who doesn't like the government picking winners and losers. This is the height of picking winners and losers, is it not?
Agreed. Absolutely. Although I wonder if a company like Solyndra could have made it through this. I guess I'll have to ask. You know, since he's endorsing Biden officially now, I would love to ask him. Hey, how many of your friends are going to make it through this?
Solyndra would have made it through the COVID-19 panic, the planned panic, right?
Right.
And any other, the unions aren't going to have any problems, I don't think.
Or that's just going to offset prices on cars. Like, you and I are both car guys, and that brand new Corvette. I don't think I've seen a single one on the street yet, but they did build them for a X amount of weeks, and I feel bad for the people, but at the same time, I know that those guys are somehow going to get paid on the back end anyway. I totally get that there's these crazy deals with American unions. Sometimes it makes me happy that Volkswagen has fought unions this entire time. Not that their cars are going to last any longer, but that stuff like that gives me fuzzy bunny feelings.
The unions aren't going to get hurt.
But what do you think about now citizens, at least I've seen in other states? Before I came on the microphone today, I was looking at CNBC and they were showing photographs of citizens in North Carolina straight out protesting, saying open up North Carolina. I was invited to a brand new Facebook group, and it's called Open Texas, because
I
citizens
think I'm
are
in
looking
that.
at,
I think I got invited into that one too.
yeah, it's about
Uh,
300,000 members already.
right. Yeah, this is okay. Since we are supposed to be for the people, of the people, by the people, yes, we should band together. And I know it's going to scare somebody that will be gathered in groups of more than 10 people in a 6-foot range. OMG. But yes, we do need to fight this as a country.
Well, I've been saying
I think
from the
Trump
very
could actually
beginning,
hear this.
from the very beginning, I've said, save your businesses, defy, do not comply. This is extreme government overreach. It's endangering our economic viability. It's endangering literally the success of individual families, individual entrepreneurs, the ability for a family to take care of themselves. I mean, a little measly, $3,500 or whatever it is they're going to send to you. How long is that going to last when the economy is shut down for 2 quarters, for 6 months? It's not going to last.
You're right.
Okay, so
It's just not going to happen, and it's scary. So let me ask you this question: what do you think will become of this in the future? How do you think that the U.S. government is going to handle things like this?
the very same way, because whenever they have opportunities like this to grab turf, they're going to do it,
Yeah,
right?
you're right.
And so, I mean, I've said all along, when government grabs turf, it's very hard for the citizens to regain it, to push them back. And government has, I mean, what they have been able to do. I mean, you look at somebody like Clay Jenkins, the Dallas County judge that went up to a podium during the press conference, and as a county judge ordered managers and employees of a Hobby Lobby to go home. You have my permission to close the store and go home. I mean, who is he to go to tell the employees, the managers, the brain trust of Hobby Lobby, no, you guys can go home? And additionally, in that press conference, to encourage fellow Texans, citizens of Dallas County, Tarrant County, to go tattletale on their fellow citizens. If you see a smoke shop open, if you see a nail salon open or whatever, you call us so we can send the sheriff and shut them down right away. It's appalling. It's atrocious. That's what he did. Clay Jenkins, county judge, Dallas County, to go behind the microphone and speak directly to a company like Hobby Lobby. I went and I took video and showed it on this program. Took video of the Hobby Lobby that's in my neighborhood. Yes, it was open. And across the parking lot, Home Depot was open. Well, how come Clay Jenkins isn't telling Home Depot to shut down in Dallas County, but he's telling Hobby Lobby? Is it because Hobby Lobby has a Christian mission statement? Because they're not open on Sunday? How come he's attacking Hobby Lobby? He's not attacking Home Depot. But when we talk about ultimately picking winners and losers, and we're talking about tyrannical action at every level of government, even here in Texas, it's for real. We're not making it up. And when government takes turf, it's hard for the citizens to regain it. If something like this happens again, they will act this way again. You look at Greg Abbott calling out the National Guard. You look at Andrew Cuomo calling out the National Guard and without hesitation telling the press that he will use the National Guard to go and seize health equipment, to go and seize ventilators. Where he finds them, he will send armed troops to commandeer those ventilators, to commandeer that health equipment. What is Greg Abbott doing calling out the National Guard for what? And he won't call out the National Guard to go secure the Texas border, where we had another 35,000 invade illegally in the month of March. You ask me what's going to happen the next time. I'm saying exactly what's happening right now is going to happen the next time, unless the citizens say, no, you're not going to endanger our way of life. You're not going to endanger our ability to stay alive.
Right. Well, I would hope and pray that the people of Tarrant County would vote that idiot out.
That's Dallas. That's Dallas County. Clay Jenkins.
Sorry.
Dallas County, Clay Jenkins. This ding dong goes to the microphone. I played it. He goes to the microphone and orders Home Depot, y'all can go home. I give you permission to lock the doors and go home. Well, who the Hades are you to tell a private corporation, a private company, that your employee, you don't pay the payroll? It's not your signature on the front of those payroll checks. Yeah, they need to pelt him with raw eggs and vote him out. I mean, the audacity, the bodaciousness of it. Really?
Hell, tar and feather it if you have to. Actually, that'd be a lot more funny. Yeah, drag them out into the streets. Show them how the people actually feel. These people who want to be able to go to work, take care of their family, pay bills, and, for some, just get by. Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I gave the solution. I gave the solution to opening up the economy last week. It's a one-step solution. Okay, I gave photographs. Let me see if I can find the photographs. I got photographs of where are they? Yeah, here it is. I got photographs. Look at this. I got photographs of Army, of all type of professionals going into airports, taking those thermometer guns and checking people's temperature. If for every employer, they open their doors and your employees get ready to come to work, and you could have one employee that's in charge of taking everybody's temperature when they come in. You hit them with the thermometer gun. And if their temperature is above 98.6, if it's at 99.2, hey, buddy, why don't you go home and let's check things out for a couple of days, see how you feel. Why don't you go in self-quarantine? But apparently, if someone gets a fever spike, that is an identifying symptom of perhaps COVID-19. Look, I'm showing all of these pictures, and they're using thermometer guns. Okay? Now, there's children in the United States. Before they can go into the classroom, they've got to walk through what? Metal detectors. Okay? Yep. So why don't every employee have to go, when they go to work, your employer sets the rules. If your employer, like at Walmart, says everybody's got to wear face masks, everybody has to wear gloves, okay, that is the decision of a private enterprise. It's their purview, not the government's. And then every employee that walks in, we're going to hit you with a thermometer gun. And if your temperature is above 98.6, we're going to cautiously and carefully, with care, with concern, send you home. We're not going to cut your pay, but go ahead, go home, quarantine for a few days. Let's see what happens. Otherwise, get to your desk and go to work, keep the business alive, and earn your paycheck. That's what I'm saying, Gavin.
I love it. Now, have you seen any of these COVID testing sites? They're pretty sprinkled around town, but have you actually seen one up close?
I haven't seen a single one.
I'll say this.
I don't even know where
So my girlfriend wasn't feeling great last week, and she was like, well, maybe I should go. All right, fine, I'll drive. I don't think that you have it, since I feel that this is nothing but a pandemic. I'm like, no, you're fine. You may have like a little fever. It's fine. Come on, let's go. I took her to Baytown, Texas, and I swear to you and all of your amazing listeners, all of these places look like 24 hours before a zombie breakout in any movie. As soon as you see the government like all over the place and people are being, sheep herded through this line, it's everything that you could possibly imagine. Stay in your car. Don't put your windows down until I get there. Only down by a crack. Fill out this paperwork. Do this. Do that. Keep on driving. And of course, she was fine, but it's scary, man. If you've ever seen a zombie movie, it looks just like when everything is still kind of peaceful before, just enough people, die and turn and, it just goes crazy. But I love your plan. I wish more people would do it. I don't foresee it happening, but
it's a
I'm all for it.
It's a one-step plan. And I heard a smart guy today on TV talking about what we need is, with the economy losing $25 billion a day, well, with the cost of one day of the U.S. economy, we could supply all the testing that we need. It's about testing. You're keeping a lot of healthy people at home.
Yeah.
I'm healthy. I don't need, look, I'm not complying anyway. I'm out there doing what I need to do. I'm not complying.
Amen to that.
I defy.
Because we're Americans. That's right. No tyranny here.
But there's plenty of healthy people. Not a single thing is wrong with them, and they're shut in like convicts. And it doesn't make any sense. All right. If you made your focus on testing, if you had your employer assign one employee at the door, when your employees show up to work, to the office, hit them with the thermometer gun. If their temperature is 98, you can do it a couple of times a day. Do it in the morning, once after lunch, just to be extra safe. If they have a temperature spike, send them home. Okay, hey, go home for a few days, see how you feel. Your temperature's a little high. It's at 99.7. It's at, why don't you go home, see how you feel, see if the temperature, if your fever elevates or not. Hit the zinc hard, hit the quinine hard, see how you feel in a few days, take your temperature. If it's back down, come on back to work. That's all needs to be done.
Right, and there are a lot of there are several small companies doing it. As a matter of fact, my company had us doing it. I can't say what refinery I was in, but as an extra step, we did that twice a day. We had it documented, and the whole nine. And of course, I think between me and a couple of coworkers that were in town, we probably hunted throughout South and Southeast Houston area to find a handful of thermometers because, they were all gone. As a matter, I tried to find zinc at a couple of different places, and I haven't found it yet. I know that, it's out there online. I'm sure if you go on like Amazon, it would probably count as something that they'll ship, no problem. But hey, it's good to know that there are people paying attention. There are people that are trying to stay healthy at the same time.
I think it's unconscionable to understand and believe there's a whole bunch of people that are perfectly healthy and they're being treated like convicts. I really do. I think that what's going on right now is tragic. I think the type of damage that's been done to the economy in some cases may be irreparable. It cannot be repaired. There are businesses that are going to leave and not come back. And it's going to be because of this, as you call it, a planned panic, or as a plandemic, or as I call it, a pan panic, and it's completely unnecessary. Gavin Babineau, he's a conservative commentator and comedian. It's great to have him back on Raging Elephants Radio, and we'll do it more often because his contribution is always entertaining. Thanks a lot to Gavin, man. Check with you a little bit later on.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Y'all don't go anywhere. Pastor Stephen Broden is still on deck. We got more to talk about. If it's about Texas, Raging Elephants Radio is on top of it.
Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver and I own a high performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com. Or click the ad on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
What would happen if one day Washington, D.C. decided that the Texas Tea Party had gone too far? What if Texans really stood up for their constitutional rights? Ripped from today's headlines, a novel that explores that premise. Could it really happen? This is a thriller in the mode of Tom Clancy and Joel Rosenberg. Author David Thomas Roberts explores a scenario that will have you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Find out why readers use phrases like, "I couldn't put it down," "riveting," "a little too real." Can Texas Ranger Pops Younger save the day? You will only know when you read Patriots of Treason. You'll want to add this book to your collection, and to save time and aggravation, just order the sequel, State of Treason, along with it. You'll be glad you did. Click on the banner ad at the top of the page. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElePhantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
Texas Talk is all the rage. Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
And I'm looking at this comment from Rhonda. Facebook.com/RagingElePhantsRadio. And she says, people having fear over faith. People just need to use common sense and wash their hands. I'm going to like that. She's already got 2 likes on that. I'm going to go ahead and like that too. Because I think she's right. Having fear over faith. Perfect lead-in to Raging Elephants Radio contributor, Pastor Stephen Broden out of the DFW area, also a member of the State Republican Executive Committee. Pastor Broden, it's good to hear your voice, man. It's been way too long. Welcome back to RER.
Well, it's good to be with you.
I'm back behind the mic where I belong. Not on the campaign trail.
Well, I think it's our miss that you didn't get in.
Yeah, I would have liked that. I think I could have done a good job of advancing liberty for us. But your article last week, 2 things. First of all, you brought to my attention the powers that be in several states. The statistics are showing that COVID-19 is hitting the black community harder than any other demographic. The governor of Louisiana says that the COVID-19 cases in NOLA, 70% are in the black community. And I don't know, I guess a virus can be racist. I don't know. But your op-ed last week spoke to the will of God in this. And I read the whole op-ed. Thought it was profound, but I want you to follow up on it. I want you to be able to expound because, you can't write an entire novel on it, when you only have a certain number of words limit to publish something on a site what the editors require of you. It may make it difficult for you to fully share your thoughts on what's going on right now. And you believe that COVID-19 could be a message from the Most High, the Holy One of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What are your thoughts, Pastor Stephen Broden, about the COVID-19, what I call the pan-panic?
Well, there is a spiritual
tone to this thing, in that we see that it's not just impacting a small demographic; it's impacting the world at this time, and it certainly is being impacting our nation and our communities. There's no question about it. And in the permissive will of God, it's happening. Now, whether God is engineering it or not, that's another question that perhaps beyond our capacity to know. But what we do know is this, is that these kinds of things have been forecast within the scriptures. And in my article, I list out that there has been sort of a back-to-back-to-back kind of plague that has impacted our world and peoples. You know, Ebola, SARS, avian flu. You know, these things are not just happening in isolation. They're happening in connection, what I believe is a deliberate move on the part of our nation away from its Judeo-Christian heritage to the embracement of immorality. We see it evident in the fact that our nation has embraced same-sex marriage, legitimized gender fluidity. Transgenderism now is a group that is expecting civil rights and expecting special treatment and special privileges, and our country is capitulating to it. There is a kind of embracement of pedophilia as normal, is being presented that way by psychologists and psychiatrists around the country. Our nation is involved in an underground, ugly belly of human trafficking, where kids are being trafficked across this country and across the world. These kinds of things do not go unnoticed by God. And there could be, in fact, a permission on the part of God for this virus to devastate the world as it is doing now. Now, when we talk about the Black community, I'm particularly interested in that because that's the community I live in. There is, in my mind, a connection with what's going on where 40% of all the deaths that have taken place in the state of Michigan as a result of this virus are Black. And I would dare to say in most urban areas and cities around this country, most who are dying are Black. Now, could it be that this is a judgment? Well, certainly when we look at the underlying condition where this virus has its best chance for operation, those things are evident within Black people. Diabetes, a disproportionate number of us have diabetes. We have high blood pressure. We're obese. Our immune systems are bad. Our diets are bad. We smoke more cigarettes, drink more alcohol. And much of the pathologies that are impacting people are evident within our community. So we are vulnerable because of our lifestyle. Environmentally, we're closely proximated to one another in these housing units and welfare housing and all that stuff, apartment living. Most of us live like that. And so we are more susceptible to it. But could it be that because we have been responsible for supporting an ideology and a philosophy that is undermining our nation, attacking our liberties, changing our morality, much of that ideology is represented in the Democratic Party, and we support them over 90% of the time. So we are affirming of their abortions, of their same-sex marriage, of their gender fluidity. And could it be that the covering, the spiritual covering that was over our community has been pulled back? Or may I say, we have gotten from underneath it to the embracement of doctrines of demons that we are exposed. I believe that there's a spiritual component, not only in terms of how it's impacting the black community, but how it's impacting America and its economy. The jobs are going away. All of this. I think there's a spiritual aspect to this.
Now, Pastor Brode, in the days of the HIV/AIDS outbreak and the attack on the homosexual community, there were many men and women of God from the pulpit, and they got excoriated for this, for essentially pointing out the same things that you are pointing out right now, that this is an attribute of God. He will remove his protection. He will remove his grace from a community. It's promised in his word, Old and New Testament, that if you disobey his will, if you disobey his spiritual laws, he's obligated as a reactionary God to do just that, remove his protection, his spiritual protection from a community, from a nation, from a person that acts out of his will. And when it came to the HIV and AIDS epidemic, the outbreak, it was so easily identified as an attack on the homosexual community. Are you equating COVID-19 and what's happening in the black community to what happened in the homosexual community, a lot of which hit the black community as well? Are you saying this is something similar and that God will continue to do this until we see a repentance from coast to coast in the United States, and dare I say even here in Texas, from all of the behaviors, the new norms, if you will, the neo-morality movement that's being embraced by this nation? These pandemics will continue to happen. These illnesses, the pestilence will continue here in the United States. You believe that?
First of all, let me just say this. I don't believe it's God being reactionary. I don't believe that. I think it's simply a consequence of the laws of nature and of nature's God. God set in motion his laws. And there are consequences when we break the law. It's not him reacting. It's our failure to abide by the law of God. And our failure exposes us to the consequence. Choose you this day whom you will serve. Choose life or death. God sets before us as volitional beings choices. We choose against God. There are consequences for that. There are consequences for it. If you obey, then there are blessings. If you disobey, then there is judgment. Consequences for the choice that we make. And the Bible is replete with examples and with proclamations and with prognostications that God has made to us, that when we violate his principles, when we violate his law, we expose ourselves to the consequences, adverse, negative consequences. This is not a reactionary God who's sitting there waiting with his club to beat us when we're wrong and he reacts and jumps. No, he's not. He says, here's the rules. Abide by them. If you don't, here's the consequence. And we have turned our backs on God, and we have abandoned his principles. We no longer embrace divine morality, and we are embracing doctrines of demons. And there are consequences for that. There are consequences for that, including the punitive reaction from Satan, who takes advantage of our exposure and our uncovering to advance his agenda and to destroy humankind. He hates humanity. And he will destroy humanity every opportunity that he has.
Well, I mean,
so in my judgment, what we're seeing is that there is a consequence for leaving, turning our backs on, and rejecting God's standard, God's law, and God's provision for safety, peace, and tranquility.
And here the people are again, as was laid out in 1 Samuel chapter 8,
looking to the government for the solution. Like they said in 1 Samuel 8, we want a king to fight our battles for us. King being the type and the shadow of earthly government. And here we are again, people crying out for government, our government taking the initiative to say, we'll solve the problem, and they have no solutions, Pastor Broden.
Well, absolutely. A friend of mine, Randall Terry, said something here recently that caught my eye. He's writing he's doing a documentary, and in that documentary, he sent it to me to review it, and I looked at it and made some notes for him. But one of the things he says in that documentary that I thought was profound, he says, God has more devastation than the federal government has relief. I thought that was, well, look, we're at a point we're about to run out of money. We're printing money that has no power to it. But we're not at all finished with this devastating virus. It's still impacting us. God has more devastation. What happens when we enter into tornado season? We're headed there.
Hurricane season.
We're not out of this COVID situation, and the money's going to run out. What's going to happen when the tornado comes and destroys another community in Mississippi or here in Texas or in the tornado belt, Oklahoma? We're going to look to the federal government. They have nothing. We need to repent as a nation and turn back to God. But what we're seeing is that the liberal left and the power elite is taking advantage of this crisis by forcing an agenda that is going to move us further and further away from God and erode our liberties, as we see the governor in Virginia is doing, the governor in Michigan is doing, and they're attacking the church, attacking our liberties, attacking the First Amendment. All of this.
Second Amendment.
All of this. And it's based upon what Rob Emanuel said. He said, never let a serious crisis go unused. For it's a time that you can do what you think you couldn't have done, you can do now. This is an Hegelian dialectic. A Hegelian dialectic. What they're doing is they're using this crisis to change what is theses to what they want antitheses. And we get a compromise synthesis. And then we get something totally different from where we are. And I think my article talks about that. On the other side of this COVID-19, this coronavirus, America will not look the same.
Well, what about Texas? What about the actions of Governor Abbott? What about the actions of the Attorney General, the actions of the legislature, the actions of right there where you live, Dallas County Judge Clay Jenkins from the podium at a press conference, ordering managers and employees of Hobby Lobby to lock up and go home as if he signs the front of the paycheck? What about Clay Jenkins, Dallas County Judge, from the podium during a press conference, encouraging fellow citizens to tattletale on each other? If you see a non-essential business, call us and we'll have the sheriff's department come and shut them down. I mean, when we talk about the Bill of Rights and our Jesus-given constitutionally protected liberties, even right here in Texas, at every level of government, we're seeing violation. We're seeing Fourth Amendment, Second, First. We're seeing violation of our constitutionally protected Jesus-given rights at a rapid pace. Right here in Texas, right here in Harris County, all over, the government believing it is God, as prophesied in 1 Samuel chapter 8, the people believing government is God and are utterly complying with these dictates and tyrannical orders. Pastor Broden.
There's no question about it. It's happening not only here in Texas, it's happening across America. We're not exempt from tyrants. We're not exempt from tyranny. It's happening all over this country, but we're not seeing it because we're operating in fear and we're frightened. And fear is the opportunity for them to manipulate and to maneuver us away from our liberties, because we're looking for security. We're looking to be comforted and to maintain our creature comforts and maintain our lifestyles. And we'll do anything, including giving up our liberties, to maintain what we want. Golden handcuffs is what Dr. Shiva calls it. He calls it golden handcuffs, that the middle class is hooked and imprisoned by their by materialism and by their desire to want to maintain their lifestyles. And so they allow the kind of evil that is going on with the power elite, the Bill Gates and the George Soros and the Mark Zuckerberg and all these guys, man, they are taking advantage of this to implement policies and law that will erode our liberties. It is in the purview. Listen, right now, what Anthony Fauci is doing is setting us up for a nationalized vaccination program that's going to come next year. As soon as they get this vaccine, they want to mandate that everybody has to be vaccinated. And if you're not, you don't get the card that says that you are vaccinated, and therefore you can't go back to work until you get that card. I see that coming. Bill Gates is now resigned from Microsoft, and he's sitting over a foundation that is designing and developing vaccines. Guess who sits on that board? Anthony Fauci and Deborah Birx, whatever her name is, Deborah Birx. They sit on that board, and they're advocating vaccination. Guess who's going to be the one who's making all the money off of vaccination? Bill Gates, George Soros, Mark Zuckerberg. If you look at Agenda 2030, which used to be Agenda 21, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
In Agenda 2030, the Sustainable Development Goal, they have 18 of them. One of the 18 is to vaccinate the entire planet. There is something dark and sinister about this coronavirus, which I believe was made in a laboratory somewhere and released on mankind. Did God do that? No. In his permissive will? Yes. He allowed it.
Mm-hmm. Germ
Or it
warfare.
served it.
Biological warfare. Germ warfare.
Right. What this is, the coronavirus is a part of the SARS family. What some scientists in India have discovered is that this strand of COVID-19 was sliced, or what was inserted in its DNA strand was a more sinister and deadly virus connected to it. So it's man-made. It's synthetic. If you Google right now, I'm talking to your listeners right now saying, who are these tinfoil head guys? What are they talking about? Google coronavirus, the pattern for coronavirus, and you'll find out that there's a pattern on it. And wherever there's a pattern, that means somebody man-made it, right? It has a patent number and all of that. Google it, you nattering naysayers who are listening right now. And you'll find that the coronavirus has a patent on it. And that patent was taken out on it in 2006, I believe. And the cure for it was a patent is on that. That was taken out in 2014 in France. The patent for the virus was taken out here in America, and the patent for the cure was in France. Who owns those patents? Who are the people who own them? And how did it get released into the public? We know China bought the virus from Canada, took it back to Wuhan, to one of the largest chemical biological laboratories in the world, And I believe through CRISPR technology, and CRISPR technology is the technology that goes in and manipulates DNA, can slice the DNA, go in there and insert whatever you want in there, or take whatever you want out of it. That technology exists today. Most people don't know it. And there is dark, sinister people who can afford to finance that, own it, and do what they want with it and release it on the sheep. Why are they wanting to vaccinate us? To dumb us down, to take away our aggression, to make us docile and sheeple, and they can manipulate and maneuver us wherever they want to go. And I know that sounds crazy, but take a look at where we're going to go.
No, it does not sound crazy. It does not sound tinfoil hattish. It does not. It sounds credible. It sounds like something that the government, many governments would do for the sake of globalization and population control.
That's precisely where we're going. And Bill Gates, and you know this like I do, in his TED Talk, talked about the way to control population or to reduce population is through viruses and vaccination. And now he's sitting on a board or on a company that's making vaccinations right now. And guess who's advocating that we should be vaccinated right now to stop this COVID-19? Bill Gates. Google it. Go look it up. See what Bill Gates is saying about COVID-19. And in his hip pocket is Anthony Fauci and Deborah Byrne, I think is her name.
Birx, B-I-R-X.
Birx.
B-I-R-X.
Yeah,
Birx. Yeah.
Right. Deborah Birx. They sit on the board. And they're using this crisis to change policies in America, shut down churches, change the voting laws to mail-in vote. They're all advocating now that we need to change the way we vote now, that we don't have to go to the polls. We can download a copy of the ballot, sign it in, and send it in. Things are changing.
Just the
Things
opposite
are
of what we're
changing.
fighting.
On the other side of this COVID-19, America will not be the same. And we are watching it take place, but we don't see it because we're operating in fear. And the Bible says, I did not give you the spirit of fear. That's not from me. But I gave you a love, power, and a sound mind. The ability to see clear, clear-eyed, fair-minded believers who can see what's going on, discern the times, recognize where we are on God's prophetic calendar, and adjust our lives appropriately so that we may serve the purpose of the kingdom by being salt and light agents of that kingdom, doing what he called us to do, Acts chapter 1, verse 8, and you should be my witnesses. Matthew chapter 28, verse 18 and 19, go and make disciples. But how many Christians are doing that? We're not doing it. We're naming it, claiming it, believing it, and receiving it, calling it and hauling it. Can't do that now. You're sitting at home, being forced in your home by the government. It's telling you you can't buy seeds, you can't buy groceries in your grow your food in your backyard. In Michigan, the governor said you can't buy seeds. No, if it's not essential, you can't buy it. Stay at home.
Convicts.
I'm telling you, America looks like China right now.
Are worse.
True.
Are worse. Pastor Brother,
and we don't see it. We don't see it. That's the thing that's unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. Is we don't see it.
I've been trying to open the eyes. I've been telling citizens, stand up, don't comply, defy, don't be sheeple, don't let the government destroy your businesses, don't let the government destroy your families, don't let the government destroy your churches. I mean, literally outlawing what the book of Hebrews chapter 10 says, let us not forsake meeting together. And the government says you will not meet together. And we do it.
Well, it's amazing. And so my article was a wake-up call, was a sound the alarm, a red flag. Hey, guys, things are changing, and they're changing not in our favor. Thank God we have right now. But hey, look, these people are shooting hard at the president, by the way. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah.
Have you noticed that they're shooting hard at him right now, making him look like a monster, a dictator, a king, all that? They're calling him all kinds of names, and they're pushing Joe Biden, and look, who is a placeholder for somebody who's going to step in, maybe Cuomo, I don't know, somebody's going to step in. But most Americans who don't pay attention, don't know what's going on. They get their understanding by the mockingbird media. And that term has meaning, mockingbird media. Look that up and see if that's something that was created by government, CIA, who is manipulating the media, who all says the same thing, including Fox. So we're being manipulated in the worst kind of way. The Bible says, "See to it that no one takes you captive through empty deception and philosophies of men, rather than according to the principles of God." And we're in a strange place, man. We're in a strange place.
We're in the midst of that. We're in the midst of that.
Yeah.
We're
in the season of deception, man. This is a great deception. We're being deceived and manipulated. This COVID thing, the truth of the matter is the numbers are being manipulated right now. The deaths are being exaggerated. The modelings that Anthony Fauci put forth exaggerated that we were going to look at as many as 1 million to 2 million people dying if we don't shut down the government.
The economy. Shut down the economy.
Shut down the economy. I'm sorry. Shut down the economy. And that's what they did. They did. And now the numbers are starting to look like it was all wrong. Yes, it was all wrong. Too late now. The effect is already here. The impact is already here. I was listening to a professor from Stanford today who was talking about how the numbers were all wrong. And that what he calls that you cannot make predictions, and their modeling was wrong because they did not have the numerator and the denominator factor figured out. And so I said, what does he mean? What is he talking about? He's an economist. And what he was saying is that the numerator, the top number, is the number of deaths due to the disease. The denominator of the number is the total of the incidence of patients having the disease, those who got infected. We don't know that number. He said, because we don't know the bottom number, the denominator, we can't make predictions. All we can do is speculate. And he says, and what they did is speculated to the worst side of the continuum as opposed to the lesser side.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took the high number and recommended everybody shelter within their homes.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have to do that.
No, never
and
did.
It's turning out right now, that more people have been infected than they had originally thought. And they have had it, got over it, and they got antigens in their body right now. See, this is crazy, man, what's going on.
It is.
We're being manipulated.
We're being manipulated, and
manipulated.
We're convicts. We're convicts in our own home. I've encouraged Texans, and there are some protests rising up across the nation. I've encouraged Texans from the very beginning of this over a month ago. Defy, don't comply, don't let the government do this to us. And hopefully they're rising up. Even it's got to the point now where the likes of a Greg Abbott, I'll have you back later on, Pastor Broden, to talk about the actions of the government within Texas and without Texas, outside of Texas, and the impact and what citizens should be doing. But I'm completely out of time right now. You certainly elevated the conversation today. Went a little bit RER overtime because I did not want to interrupt you. What you were saying was so profound, and I think beyond that, it was anointed. Thank you. Pastor Stephen Broden is a Raging Elephants radio contributor, and he's already said toodaloo, sounds like. And that's it for me, Saints and Patriots. I did go overtime today because Pastor Broden was on a roll. We'll be back tomorrow if the Lord says the same, talking about the 3 issues that are impacting Texas the most: the COVID-19 panic, or as Gavin Babineau called it, the plandemic. The planned pandemic. Pastor Broden underscoring that, believing that it's indeed germ warfare, biological warfare. Profiteers are trying to take advantage of us. Look, there's so many components to this. And Raging Elephants Radio and yours truly is going to stay on it, especially when it deals with Texas. We got the COVID-19 panic. We've got Russia attacking us. I gave you the border invasion numbers for March 2020. We're still under invasion. So you got to stay with Raging Elephants Radio. You got to stay with yours truly, Claver, your favorite political flavor, to get the full picture, to know exactly what's going on. I am Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. Did a little RER overtime today because it was so good. The content was so good. The information I had to bring to you was so fantastic. So you want to be back here again tomorrow, 6 p.m. Texas time, the only time that matters. And we'll continue this, continue exposing the truth, continue telling it to you like a TI is. Under the pink dome, my enemies call me the purifier. I consider that to be a compliment. May the Lord Jesus bless you. May the Lord Jesus bless the past and soon to be future independent sovereign republic of Texas.